Well, the kitchen remodel is underway, and this piece alone in your 1990s house that comes down, we'll look at a before shot right now. Again, this is going to be completely gone. That opens up your kitchen tremendously. Literally 4 bolts. Well, you're going to mess up your Formica countertops a little bit as well, but we're going to be doing marble tops, marble quartz tops over the top, but... So, make a long story short, I'm actually doing the master bathroom remodel right now, but I actually am jumping forward just because the way I'm editing this in present time, I'm still about a month or so away from doing the kitchen, and I'm just so tired of looking at that. You're blocked right here. You can't even see the TV. We're gonna move that way. Don't worry about that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So, I got it outside right there. Unfortunately, due to the age, I messed up one of the cabinets. I'm either going to donate it, but it might be unrepairable. Plus, I really doubt someone's going to want to buy even a used one of those myself. So I'll probably just recycle it. But ladies and gentlemen, that alone is beautiful. We're going to do this whole kitchen, but that feels good. That opened up the entire house. So we're jumping into the future or past, whatever you want to call it. I'm waiting on my drywall mud to dry to further go with the project on the mud room. So I'm just starting on a few little things here. I haven't quite begun, so to speak, the kitchen, but this video, yes, we have started, but I haven't officially started, if that makes any sense. So while I'm waiting for the drywall mud to dry in the mud room, I'm going to go ahead and show you a few little tips here. Laser level is your friend for many projects. Drywall screws, getting them in line, save yourself time for a chalk line, all that good stuff. So, is it necessary to put pot lights up right here? And when I'm talking about pot lights, recessed, very thin pot lights, no, not really, but I have the electrical for it already, and actually, let's see here. Yes, this one will control the pot lights. The third one over there will control the 2 pendant lights here. I'm going to be moving the pendant light up 1 foot on this side, obviously, because it's already hanging right there. When I get my new cabinets, they're going to go all the way to the ceiling, and it's going to be too tight against the light. Not to mention, if you flung a dish towel over your shoulder a little too high, it could knock those lights. So I'm going to raise that up 1 foot. So with the incline, I'm thinking it'll probably only raise it up like 8 inches or so, but it's just going to be better than nothing. Also, I'm going to be putting a matching one in over here on this side, and all I did was go to the cathedral ceiling, measure from the crevice down 31.5 inches, wrote that down before I forgot it, and right there, down 31.5 inches, and made my circle in the popcorn ceiling, which I'm going to be skim coating so it's beautifully smooth. This, unfortunately, has to be covered up with a concealer. So this is a concealer right here. It's not the prettiest thing. It's just flat and white. It'll look like a pot light, and to be honest with you, as long as you paint that the same color of the ceiling, you'll forget about it in about a week or even less than that. You think, oh, people are going to notice. Nobody's going to notice. Your biggest critic in a remodel is yourself. So unfortunately, there's just too many wires tied in there. I thought there was only 1 set of wires, or Romex I should say, and I was just going to abandon it, pull it out, and drywall over it, but there's a lot of connections in there because they did like circuit loops, what the electricians call it. That's probably not the technical term, but anywho. So we'll put the cap on. We're going to skim coat the ceiling. It's going to look fantastic. And I'm only adding these pot lights because I already had them, and I don't really like to waste product. And what I was kind of thinking of was, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back to the build, but I do want to thank today's sponsor, which is Manscaped. They have just dropped their newest lineup of new products, the Lawnmower 4.0 Pro and the Lawnmower 3.0 Plus. I've made full tutorial videos already on the channel regarding these 2 trimmers, body trimmers, and they do an excellent job. These are the upgraded, new and improved models. And if you guys want 20% off and free shipping for whatever products they do offer, top link in the description box below. Your 20% discount will automatically be applied at checkout. Again, you get free shipping as well for whatever products. I highly recommend their beard hedger as well. It does an absolutely fantastic job. Not to mention their boxers, which I'm wearing right now. Again, they have a plethora of products, so definitely check out that link, top link in the description box below. 20% off and free shipping. Lawnmower 4.0 Pro, Lawnmower 3.0 Plus. Grab yourself a couple pairs of boxers on the way out. You're going to highly enjoy them. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to the build, because now we're all clean. Might as well dirty myself up a little bit now. Well, the television is going to go over here, and definitely subscribe to the channel, because you're not going to miss that. We're going to do a really cool modern entertainment area down the way here. Got a special TV picked out. Definitely subscribe. So what I was thinking of is the TV is going to go up here, and this fan obviously is going to be a beautiful chandelier pendant light as well, low profile one that doesn't hang down too far. I don't want glare on my television. So the idea behind this is that when you are eating while watching, because I do like to eat on bi-weekly cheat Thursday pizza nights or Sunday cheat day, and that's the only time I really watch shows or movies these days. I like a little bit of ambient light, and so you could have either the pendant lights on here or the pot lights, or eventually the under cabinet lighting. It's a lot, but I already have the resources, so might as well put it in. So those are super easy to put in. Take your drywall knife, cut around the template, insert the 6-inch light in. I am going to have to run a fresh run of Romex cable, starting from this one, jumping to that one over there that I have magic markered in right there. X marks the spot. And then we'll run. So that's going to be one line of Romex to here, doubled up in the box to here, and then another line running through. I'm going to have to punch out some access holes here because I don't have attic access, and then drilling in a fresh line. I think I'm going to come down right here, double up on my Romex here, staple that in, coming straight through this channel here. Squeeze connector. We're going to tie all this together. This is hot right now, so I'm not going to touch it. Obviously, it's protected, but still. And then we have our jumpers for our switches, all that fun stuff. And then we're going to have the left switch is going to be for the secondary porch light, which is right here. I added one more porch light to match the motif of the double slider and that porch light. And then the right switch will be for these pot lights that are going in right now. And unfortunately, I can't do anything about these quite yet because I need to know exactly how big of holes I need to create for that. So I'm not going to run the wire right now because I need to get some rework boxes, old work boxes they call them. And what that means is that if you don't have new construction or if you don't have access to the studs or anything like that to nail it in, like that's plastic, this is metal. A rework box is the same as I put over here in the mudroom. And what this does is you cut it to size, slip it in, and then as you screw your screws here and down here, these little tabs flap open. And then as you tighten it tighter, they press up against the drywall for a beautiful secure fit. It actually is a lot more secure than I thought. I was buying all steel boxes just because it's just, I mean, it is higher quality, but the significant difference between these and that, it's like triple the price. But it is what it is. Totally up to you, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to have to wait on the pendant lights, and then not to mention, I'm going to have to wait on, I need to order another pendant light, so I need to go online tonight and order the same one. That was a free product review. So was the laundry room one in there that you can't see, and so I'll get a matching one coming over here. And then as I progress this way, I'll order up that one when it comes time. So you're like, Chris, what then are you doing today? Well, we're going to cut holes and run Romex and pop in our pot lights and then connect this with our switches, and we'll get that up and running. Now, regarding the pot lights, many different companies make them, but this is not sponsored, but they have sponsored the video in the past. I am an affiliate for Lumeri pot lights, RGB smart pot lights, I should say. So in the description box below of the video will be a link where you guys can pick these up, and I do receive a small commission. Doesn't cost you anything extra if you decide to go with Lumeri company. These again are this 6 inches. They have a little template inside, and this is a 4-pack, but of course I'm only going to do 2. Now they do have really cool different ones. They have ones that kind of like rotate and kind of angle a little bit that I have in the theater room, and then they have other ones that I have in my back office, or no, the guest bedroom, that have this like little sweet little like LED light below the pot light. It's pretty cool. That link will take you to it, and you guys can check out their different ones. These are going to be the same ones as my master bedroom. Slimmest design possible. They clip on the back side of your drywall, nice and secure. They're smart. They're Alexa enabled, which I won't trigger her right now, but it works with that. and Google Home. Let me just show you one before we do get started here. 6-inch, very slim design as you can see. And then the clips that go on the back of the drywall are in here with your wire nuts. Because I'm going to be jumping one set of Romex over here and then locking it into 2 sets of Romex, I'm going to need bigger wire caps than this, but I got them right over here. So let's get on my ladder. I already have it marked out. Where's my template? They give you a template right here. Hole cutout template for 6-inch lights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a hole through the middle of this so I know exactly where the middle is. I'm going to match that middle up to my X on the ceiling where my laser level is. And then I'm going to take a manual drywall knife and cut around the pencil mark around the template that I'm going to be making. Very simple. I did not show you the smart box. And a lot of companies make these. They're not very expensive, but I have a lot of Lumeri. Pretty much all the lights in my house are Lumeri, so I do like them. And then you have your box right here, which you do got to put a squeeze connector beside of it, but I have a video about how to wire this. Not very hard at all. And then this, just literally, since it's so light, sits on top of my drywall as the light clips in. And these are so thin, if I didn't mention it, well, I'm gonna mention it, is that if you hit a truss, like if the perfect positioning, which one of these positions could be a truss. So let's say a truss runs straight through your line. You're like, oh, I can't put my light there. Now I got to repair this hole. These are so thin that they'll sit between your 1/2-inch drywall and your truss as long as you clip them in, obviously the opposite direction of your truss coming through. I had that issue on my master bedroom, I think on another room as well, because sometimes you want that exact position. You don't want to move it over. It's not going to mesh well with the room. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the smart pot lights are in, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like it right here from this angle, but those are dead even 38.5 inches off of the top peak. It just doesn't look even in this direction. Again, 6-inch lights. This is out my outdoor porch, which you can't see right now. And this one, they're trying to go into pair mode right now, so they're gonna start blinking here in a second, so I gotta get out my app and pair them. But I personally don't like the cool color. I like the warm color of lights personally myself. Like nice warm lights like this here. So I'll go ahead and go into the app. We'll sync them. We'll pair them up with her over here on top of the refrigerator. Just understand is that do keep your pets away. They've been staying in the other room, but because I have blown in insulation, it is everywhere. It's going to drop all over you. So please use gloves and a 3M mask. And then what I do is I try to put back the blown in insulation, but if it keeps falling on you and you get frustrated, I have leftover regular wall insulation. And so what I do is I just go ahead and feed it up there in the cavity hole and then pop my lights in. It's super simple application. Probably the hardest part of this is getting your access cuts. So make a long story short, this line wasn't too hard to fish, obviously going that way, but it gets tighter with my trusses because the cathedral ceiling. And so this is where I started right over here. Let me show you how I got it in here. So I stapled it in the center of my 2x6 so that no drywall screws, if they miss the studs, go in, or siding nails go in right here. This is my porch light right here. So I drilled a hole up through, I'm going to call it the top plate. And this was my first access hole. I tried to fish line it, but because the cathedral ceiling, trusses get really tight right through here. More open, obviously, if you're going this way. Tighter because you're crossing over trusses every 2 feet this way. So tried it after a few times, getting insulation all over yourself. My shoulders are hurting, trying to get it, blah, blah, blah. Opened up another access hole and then was able to fish it over. Fish tape and then brought it this way, drilled my hole, reached in there, dropped it down into my 2-gang box right here. Obviously, I'm going to have to remove these switches for drywall because I want these to go behind the drywall, but I have my 5/8 inch mud ring because I'm going to put 5/8 inch drywall up against this. So these lights will go ahead and just twist, pop through the hole, lock back in. So obviously I don't have to like remove the wiring and do it. Same with that one there, but I still have one more switch to do. And I'm going to use that access hole and probably this one as well. And then this little circle right there is going to be for that one. And then I'm hoping I have extra wire to move this one up one. And I'm really hoping I don't have a conjunction of wires, which I probably do, in there all joined together, which means I'll have to get another little plate. Again, it blends in, not that big of a deal. Less concealing plates though is the goal of the day. Overall success, messy, do need to clean this up. And let me tell you something real quickly here. So summertime, let me go over here to the window. Summertime is absolutely stunning in Colorado. If you live in a seasonal place, this is only my second full-time year. 39 years in Southern California, there was no such thing as seasons. It was cooler and then it was hot. So I'm not used to having to do projects and do them in a very timely manner as I look out at the beautiful cows. So part of me wants to go enjoy this beautiful weather, mountain bike, and I do that, but sometimes I got to put the grind to the hammer and just do it, because once it starts getting cold again, then it's going to be a real pain in the butt. Get out there in 40-degree weather doing a deck. I try to rewire my first porch light right over here in like 40-degree weather. My hands were frozen, might have been 35-degree weather. And Colorado is not that bad where I am. It's just I'm not used to it, and it gets cold, and I'm very lean, so I don't have much winter fat to protect me. Anyway, with all that said, I am going to go river surfing very soon. I am going to take a little breather, have an evening cup of coffee, go look at the cows, and walk up to go get my mail. Good thing about the country is I got about half of a quarter mile up to my mailbox right up there. So you definitely get your steps in. And if you're wondering, 7 o'clock, evening cup of coffee, yeah, it's probably like I'm going to try to be in bed in like 3.5 hours from now, but no, 4.5 hours. 7 o'clock, I'm going to try to be in bed at 11:30 because I get up earlier for church. That's okay. You got to live life sometime. Well, definitely wish that my living room was all set up, ready to go for this beautiful thing, but this is a little sneak peek for you to what will eventually go up on that wall right here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Goodness gracious, that's a big box. What is that, ladies and gentlemen? Whoa, the frame with QLED. What? 75-inch, the frame TV from Samsung? Bria's loving it. That's going to look really, really nice up here. As you can see here, I drew the outline of the 65, and I was like, let's just go 75. So anyway, Prime Day, they did have a good deal. It was still stupid expensive, but thought it'd be really cool. Well, heavy storm coming in right now. Rain. We started off with very little amount of hail, but well, what I was about to say before the wind blew my French doors open with a big power supply blocking it. Okay, yeah, this storm is pretty gnarly. Here comes the hail, unfortunately. Lord bless and protect this house, please. I'm tired of hail damage, man. Anyway, I have not put the little stopper for this French door down, so it just blows open with heavy wind. So you do have to be a little careful about that. What I was trying to say is that this is where you start to realize some manufacturer defects, and I actually just caught a very small, see, you can see it leaking right here. And because there's so much rain coming up against the French doors, I should say, I have a very small leak that I penciled marked, so I'm gonna do some caulking on the outside and inside right here as well. Now it is raining pretty heavy right now, but yeah, it is leaking a little bit there, so that's kind of a bummer. But again, simple fix with some caulking, silicone. This is a good time. I mean, that's a lot of water very quickly. This is what Colorado does, man. It just comes in. Let me turn off the flash there. It comes in, sorry, you can't really see, but my front area is filling up already. It just comes in hot and fast. And this is where, what I was saying was, this is where you determine where your leaks are before you do put up your drywall. So this is actually a good thing as long as it doesn't hail. So I'm gonna check all my work. I did this a couple weeks ago, found a few discrepancies. Let's see what happens with my discrepancies that I marked out before. Let's go behind here here. I'll wash my hands after this. I marked a little bit, yeah, over there. So because of the heavy rain, let me show you right here. So I marked this out right here. This had a couple drops of water. We have a few more drops of water right there. So I have some sort of gap. Actually, you can see it coming in right there a little bit. Where is it coming from? The drip is actually coming from up here. Okay, so it looks like it's coming in the side right up here. So this gap is a little bit off. That's good to know. So you just mark these things down before obviously drywall's put up. So I'll grab my pencil, make my marks, and then let me show you my other gap over here. Now that the storm's kind of subsiding a little bit. Actually, oh goodness, I can actually see light coming through this. This panel is going to be completely replaced, but as you can see there's already previous hail damage, and that's not really nailed in properly. So you can see that water is coming in this edge here. Everything else looks good. And then I did have a marking here. I had a few water drops there. Not this time, but again, just make your marks, make your notes, and then take the time to go around your windows and again, check for any moisture. Sorry, there's been a lot of moths and flies. I need to vacuum off the window there. And you just come here and everything looks good here on these windows. But again, some of the siding panels, and especially that area doesn't have the house wrap on it. And again, that already had hail damage. Not too concerned about that. That will be replaced as I go down the outside of the house as it's stopping now. So before it does dry, you want to get in there to all your areas, check down below, check in the corners before you start putting trim up, making sure, again, there's no water in the cracks or crevices, and we're looking good. This is something I also have to address. The drainage area for this side is not very well, so heavy rain, it actually gets water on the inside of the sill because it's not draining properly. This side's okay, but it's this side I need to get in here and deep clean. So what I'm getting at is take the time, triple check everything before you do button up the hatch, because once you do button up the hatch, remember that could be potential mold, especially if it doesn't dry out properly and you have some issues with water.